Hi, my name is Annie E. Gutierrez, and this is my book review on Contagious: Why Things Catch On by Jonah Berger. So today what we're going to be reviewing in the book, it's going to be explaining why things go viral. We're going to introduce the steps framework, and we're going to show some real-world marketing examples. So what is Contagious? Contagious is a book that focuses on why certain ideas, products, and content spread quickly from person to person. Instead of assuming things go viral by luck, the book explains that there are specific patterns behind what people choose to share. It emphasizes the power of word of mouth marketing and how human behavior plays a key role in spreading information. Overall, the book shows that understanding why people share things can help businesses, marketing, entrepreneurs, individuals that just want to make ideas more impactful and memorable. So, for the steps framework, these are going to be the 5 key factors: social currency, triggers, emotion, practical value, and stories. Or social currency is the idea that people share things that make them look good, smart, or make them seem that they're in the know. When something gives us like a sense of status, makes us feel special, we are more likely to talk about it with others. In the book, Berger explains how exclusivity plays a big role in this, like when something feels like a secret or it's insider information. One example he gives is how people are more likely to share interesting or surprising facts because it makes them seem knowledgeable. Another example is brands or experiences that feel exclusive, like members only access or limited products, which encourage people to talk about them to boost their image. Now, on that, people share interesting facts or sports stats to seem knowledgeable, and they also post about exclusive brands. Like where I work, for example, I work at Aloe Yoga. So we have like limited releases because it makes them feel like they are part of something special whenever a new product does come out and they seem like they are in the know. Overall, social currency works because sharing isn't just about the content itself, it's about how it reflects on us individually. So for triggers, triggers are reminders that keep a product or idea top of mind, which increases the chances that people will talk about it. The more frequently something is brought up to mind in everyday life, the more likely it is to be shared. In Contagious, Berger explains that successful marketing often connects a product to common, recurring situations. Well-known examples from the book is the Kit Kat. So it links the candy bar to like coffee breaks with the slogan, "Have a break, have a Kit Kat." Because people drink coffee regularly and naturally reminds them that a Kit Kat is like leading to more word of mouth. Another example is how certain songs become popular because they're tied to everyday moments or environments. So yeah, certain songs on TikTok become popular because they're used in everyday routines, like a "Get Ready With Me" video or in workout clips. Every time people do that activity, they hear that same sound and it keeps it in their head and makes them want to use it or share it too. Triggers work by creating consistent mental connections, so instead of being forgotten, the product or idea keeps coming back into people's minds. So, emotion. Emotion is a key driver of why people share content because people are more likely to pass along things that make them feel something strong. It is not just about whether something is positive or negative, but how intense the emotion is. High arousal emotions like excitement, awe, anger, or humor are especially powerful because they push people to take action and share. In Contagious, Berger gives the example of viral articles from the New York Times showing that content that evokes strong emotions, like an awe or surprise, is much more likely to be shared than content that is neutral. On the other hand, low energy emotions like sadness do not spread as much unless they are deeply meaningful. An article about an incredible or surprising story is more likely to go viral because it creates a strong emotional reaction like awe, while more neutral content doesn't get shared as much. So, overall, the stronger the emotional reaction, the more likely people are to share it with others. So, public. The idea behind public is that the more visible something is, the more likely it is to be copied and shared by others. When people can easily see behavior or product, it creates a sense of social proof, meaning people assume it is popular or worth trying. In Contagious, Berger explains this with the concept of the built to show, built to grow, meaning products that are designed to be seen naturally spread more. One example from the book is the Live Strong Yellow wristbands because they were so visible and worn by many people that others they noticed them and they wanted to wear it, which helped them spread quickly. Another example is how making private behaviors public can increase adoption, like when people can see others participating in a trend. Overall, though, visibility makes ideas easier to imitate, and when people copy something, it continues to grow. So, practical value. Practical value is about how people are more likely to share information that is useful or helpful to others. When something provides real value, like saving time, money, or effort, people feel motivated to pass it along because it benefits those around them. This connects directly to the idea that helping others also makes us feel good, which increases sharing. In Contagious, Berger gives the example of how deals and discounts spread quickly, especially when they are framed as limited time offers. He also talks about how people are more likely to share valuable tips, like ways to save money or improve something in their daily life. Another example is how restaurant accommodations or the best of lists get shared because they provide practical benefits. So, if someone were to find a limited time sale or a really good restaurant, they are likely to share it with friends because it helps them save money or have a better experience overall. Since it's useful and benefits others, people feel more motivated to pass that information along. But yeah, overall, the more useful something is, the more likely it is to be talked about and shared with others. Stories. So, stories are powerful because people naturally share stories instead of just facts or information. When an idea is built into a story, it becomes more engaging, easier to remember, and more likely to spread. In Contagious, Berger explains that the key is making the product or message a natural part of the story, not something that feels forced. One example from the book is the story of the Subway's Jared, whose weight loss journey became widely shared while also promoting the brand. Because the product was built into the story, it spread naturally through word of mouth. Overall, stories act as a vehicle for information, allowing ideas to travel further and stick with people longer. So overall, virality is not random. Steps explain why ideas spread, and these principles are used in marketing and everyday life. Contagious shows that ideas do not go viral by accident, but instead follow specific patterns based on human behavior. The steps framework explains why people share things and how word of mouth drives popularity. Each principle, from social currency to stories, plays a role in making content more engaging and shareable. These concepts are not only used in marketing, but also in social media, sports, and everyday interactions. Understanding these principles can help anyone create ideas that are more memorable and more likely to spread. Thank you.